York Session live stream. So at this point, we are 15 minutes ahead of New York Session open, and we will look to see if we can find some trades in gold, because if we look at GBP JPY, we are just consolidating. At this point, I was anticipating buys above if we break above this candle based on our pattern 1, but that didn't happen. So we just deleted our buy stop and go with our day. Later on, prices started to move. Price started to consolidate between 164.100 and 164.400 area. So we are heading towards New York Open in 16 minutes, and in few hours volume usually dies down in anticipation of weekend holidays. So we have, I will say, 1 to 2 hours left to find some trade and probably make profits today. Other than that, we are just okay. We may not find a trade because it is Friday. I can see small volume in markets. GBP JPY is consolidating, although we have hope that we may be able to capture some good trades in New York session, but we are waiting. We have a small news, I guess. Yeah, we have core retail sales and retail sales news in about 45 minutes. So we are just waiting at this point. For now, we are just waiting. At this point, I am anticipating buys above 1710 area, but there are some conditions for buys. However, if we are just waiting at this point. All right, we are just waiting. In gold, actually this is pattern 2, but the whole idea is we don't have a lower wick, and all right, we will execute on this trade only if we break below this M5 low based on our second high. That entry will be based on our second high formation in M5 after pattern 2 is formed. But we are just waiting at this point. Yeah, there is still very high probability for prices to keep dropping till 1700 area, almost 50-60 pips. We have around 20 pips of stop loss at this point, but we are just waiting. We want a second high to be formed in gold, and then maybe we can execute. For now we are just waiting. But usually I have seen in pattern 2. Let's look at pattern 2 at first. First we will look at pattern 2. Alright, this was our yesterday trade based on pattern 2. We basically have created a high, we moved down, we executed buys right after second high is formed, and we made profits. You see, whenever prices are in the mood of motion after pattern 2, they don't wait for so long like they are waiting for now in gold. But the point is we created pattern 2 right in here, right in here, right in here, but I choose to execute on it because we have I have seen that once it appears on third attempt, the probability of trade working out increases. Alright, let's look at this trade. Yeah, it was also a pattern 2. So basically in both these examples we don't have a prior fake out, I will say. If we look at definition, we basically need a fake out. This thing wasn't present in pattern 2. Alright, we are just waiting. Candles are about to close in 5 minutes, and then maybe we can find some trades. So this is where we have created a second high, and at this point my stops will be around here 20-23 pips, and I am anticipating prices to keep pushing down. And we are just waiting. I am executing this trade on my demo account. And if we are to push down, there is no point of prices breaking above this high, but we are very careful. Right at this point, we are just waiting. Nothing in gold and nothing in GJ. We are breaking above the high of previous 15-minute candle in first 6 minute, and the current 15-minute candle don't have a lower wick. We don't have a lower wick in M30. We don't have a lower wick in H1. We can potentially go down to create a lower wick, but we are just waiting at this point. If we look at M30, there are no buys, I will say. No buys as per our patterns and no sells as per our patterns. This thing was pattern 2, but that's just the probability of trade not working out. I should have executed the shorts right after this candle by placing my stops around 18 pips, and once this candle starts to break above my entry point, I should have closed everything, and that's it. For now we are just consolidating and we are just waiting. We are just waiting. There is nothing in GBP JPY. We are just consolidating. Alright, the current 15-minute candle closed bullish in gold, so we basically closed our sell. We executed shorts right in here. We exited in 10 pips loss. I didn't execute this trade on my real account because I knew that we are dropping with no volume and we may continue pushing up, but at this point we are just waiting. Alright, we are testing the highs at 1707 area, but this buy trade doesn't make any sense as per our trading pattern. We will just stay away at this point, and we will let the market play out. I'm waiting for 12 more minutes before I will close my live stream, because there is very low volume on GBP JPY, and in gold we may form some excellent trade later on. And if I look at my history from 11th of July, I am sort of at break even. I don't want to ruin my progress for the week, so I will just stay away from it, and I may execute starting from Monday, but now there is nothing at this point as per my trading pattern, so I will just stay away from trades. However, we are forming a range in GBP JPY, and there is a probability we can potentially find some good trades later on, but I will not execute on those. I will just go with my day. And right, we are again rejecting gold, but we are waiting for candles to close. Still, there is a probability. Yeah, I know new. I have basically this thing is basically a pattern 4 in my opinion. Let's look at pattern 4. We don't have enough data on pattern 4, but still I recognize this thing. Yeah, we have only one example. Yeah, this one. This is what we are forming today in gold. So the point is, will I execute this or not? Alright, I will execute this on my demo account, and at this point there is no point for markets to hit my stops, but I am basically getting myself prepared. If market creates an other upper wick, I may execute it, but at this point I am just waiting, and I wanted to see if we can again drop big like this today, or at least 100 pips for today, but we are just waiting. Candles are about to close in 6 minutes, and then maybe we can find some clue where prices are heading off, but in my opinion, so far this thing is pattern 4. I have seen this thing in past. We dropped like 140 pips, we consolidated, we moved up, and we are, this thing is Comet Comex open, and there is very high probability for prices to keep pushing down. If I execute this trade, my very small, if I execute this trade with a very small lot, I will basically risk $6 to potentially create $20, but we are just waiting. I am waiting for candles to close. We want M15 candle to close and M30 candles to close, and then maybe, and this move usually happens later into New York session. I will be watching this pattern because I wanted to collect more data based on pattern 4, but the whole idea is we are just waiting. If we drop from this area, there is probability we can potentially drop till 1680 area, which is about 170 pips away, but we are just waiting for candles to close, and maybe on next candle I will execute. Overall, my analysis is bearish gold on for today. Expecting short trades, and I am just waiting for candle to close, and if we close like the way I wanted it to close, I may execute, but the spreads on gold is around 3 pips. Basically our pattern 2 is now working. This is pattern 2 because we are supposed to execute based on pattern do right in here by placing our stops around 15 pips. Sometimes market just drop straight away and sometimes market just uh, retest the high for second time like it did in here. So that's okay. We are just waiting. All right, we are dropping in gold, but the current M30 candle don't have a higher wick. So it is my anticipation that we can potentially keep pushing down based on our pattern 4, but we need to look at it because this is first time I am experiencing pattern 4 after I have identified and defined this pattern. So I will just probably watch this trade play out. If this is correct pattern 4, I am anticipating prices to go somewhere near 1690, around 100 pips from here. We are now approaching a potential support zone at 1699 area, but based on this price action we should break down and keep pushing down, but we are just waiting. If we look at weekly, We are dropping. If we look at daily, we are dropping. We possibly will reject from previous candle low in H4. H4 candle is about to close in 27 minutes. Let's see how this H4 candle will close, and I may execute on next H4 candle if I find something. Other than that, I am just good. I am watching this pattern for to play out. This is the trade I have taken based on my pattern 4, and what we have seen from past, we have two recorded examples of pattern 4, and I also remember one example where gold dropped like 300 pips. So after pattern 4, I basically knew that market drops a lot. So let's see if we can drop a lot today. We are already up 30 pips at this point, but that's not the point. In here, I am expecting prices to keep pushing down till 1690 area. If this pattern plays out, I may execute this trade next time it appears. There is no rush in trading and nothing. We are just waiting to see how this pattern will play out. We are approaching a potential support zone at 1699 area, and we are just waiting. All right, we have rejected from around 45 pips. So at this point, our trade is now in 7 pips drawdown. This is a good thing, man, very good thing. We may be able to capture a good buy trades later on, but at this point we are just waiting. This trade was based on our pattern 4, but I guess the probability of working it now is lower. Alright, we are waiting for current 15-minute candle to close. If we are expecting buys, we wanted to execute a buy position anywhere around 1710 area. Other than that, we will just stay away from buys. The whole idea is, alright, we are now stopped out, and now there is very high probability for prices to keep pushing up, but it seems like we will miss the train because 8 minutes left in candles to close, and prices are moving with so much volume. Yeah, we are just breaking up. We have moved around 28 pips above the previous candle high. Let's look at news. News was good numbers, but if we look at news, alright, let's look at pattern 4. So this idea of pattern 4 worked out. We basically our trade went in 40 pips profit before hitting our stop, and basically I think that trend at this point is very mature, so that's why we didn't get a big move like this, because we were already dropping for months, days and days. We are dropping for previous 20 days, so I think that trend at this point was mature. That's why we rejected from that low, but we are just waiting to see how we will be able to capture some good trades later on. Alright, 15-minute candles have closed. We wicked below 1704 area and we wicked above 1707 area. At this point, it is very difficult to basically anticipate where prices can go. So we are just waiting. We are just waiting. There is nothing in markets at this point. All right, at this point, we will just stay away from trades. I will just exit my live stream and continue with my daily, and that's it for me today. For today, and maybe on Monday we can execute on some trade. This trade, although was a I was anticipating buys at this point, but I didn't execute it on this because this trade was out of my trading pattern and out of my trading plan. So I will just come back on Monday. Today was very hard trading day. This was our pattern 4 for shorts. We executed it on demo account, and yeah, we'll see on Monday what will happen. Today was very dirty Friday. I didn't find anything of interest, and maybe I will execute tomorrow on Monday. I'm waiting for candles to close in 4 more minutes. Alright, at this point it makes sense for us to just go home. We are not anticipating anything from markets at this point, and I will see you guys on Monday. For now, we are just good. On weekends, I will try to find 4 to 5 examples of each pattern. Along with, we will do a stream of where I will review my past trades. I have taken around 5 trades in this week. 2 were winners and 3 were losses, and we are at